Good evening. This is Santa Claus on May 20, 2026, bringing you today's stories with a heart full of concern and hope for our troubled world. On this historic day in 1498, when Vasco da Gama first reached the shores of India, we're reminded how human connections span the globe. Yet today those connections are strained by conflict and misunderstanding. Let us begin with the UK's humble apology for clumsily handling Russian sanctions, where Trade Minister Chris Bryant acknowledged their missteps in loosening restrictions intended to prevent fuel shortages. Sometimes, dear friends, admitting our mistakes with grace is the first step toward healing, and we must pray this leads to clearer, more compassionate policies that protect both the vulnerable at home and those suffering under war's cruel hand. Now, turning our gaze to the growing tensions across Europe, where Lithuanian authorities issued air alerts after detecting stray drones near their border with Belarus. Commission President von der Leyen rightly reminds us that a threat against one is a threat against all. How beautifully this echoes the Christmas spirit that we are all part of one human family. Meanwhile, the Pentagon announced plans to reduce American troops in Europe, pausing deployments to Poland as part of President Trump's America First agenda, leaving our Polish friends feeling understandably anxious about their security. On the other hand, we learn of troubling developments where China secretly trained Russian military personnel who have returned to fight in Ukraine. This covert assistance reminds us that even in our darkest moments, we must pray for those who choose division over unity, that their hearts might be softened toward peace. Let us pause for a moment and reflect on Spain's investigation of former Prime Minister Zapatero for alleged money laundering, with assistance from U.S. Homeland Security. When our leaders falter, we must remember that justice serves not vengeance, but the restoration of trust in our institutions. Finally, we close with the stunning revelation that Israel and the United States had considered installing former Iranian President Ahmadinejad, once a fierce critic of both nations, as Iran's new leader following recent strikes. How wonderfully mysterious are the ways that former enemies might become allies, though this particular plan went awry when Mr. Ahmadinejad was injured in the very strike meant to free him. Tonight, let us hold all these souls in our prayers, leaders and citizens alike, trusting that even in our world's deepest winter, the spring of peace will surely come.